Rule number 13 states that no two videos can be too similar to each other, but rule number 3 states that a rule being broken on account of an oversight or creative decision by the author does not warrant a deletion or edit of said video. So today, I'm not holding back. I'm Neon Greeny, and this is the Ethereal Micro-Pocket Dimension Theory. Let's start this off with a quick update on my last theory. I wrote this in a pinned comment, but I'm putting it here. I don't really care if this theory is correct or not. Not this one you're watching, but the Monculus one. I could live without it being true. Besides, parts of it were debunked anyway. This is a theory that is less of an evidential argument, and more of an interesting what-if. When Ethereal Workshop came to the game, there was one massive question that still remains unanswered. Will there be an Ethereal Quint? Will we be getting an Ethereal top boss? Well, it's commonly theorized that the strange thing growing inside the synthesizer is the Quint. This is actually a theory I've had since Wave 2, because I thought the blob at the top of the refined synthesizer looked kind of like an egg. And as proven by the bio of the layer upgrades, I was correct that there was something growing inside it. But what it truly is still unknown. I am still a proud Quint believer, and this theory is my take on it. Now, I addressed this in the previous theory, but I want to say it again. I don't think the Quint will come in the same wave as the final quad. Presumably the poison boss. If my Monculus theory is correct, then Wave 5 will consist of Monculus and the Crystal boss, Wave 6 will consist of the final 2 confirmed monsters, and Wave 7 will be reserved for only the Quint. If my Monculus theory is incorrect, then Wave 5 will consist of the Crystal boss and the final triple. Wave 6 will consist of only the Poison quad, and once again, Wave 7 will be reserved for only the Quint. People seem to be under the impression that every wave past Wave 2 will consist of 2 monsters, but that was never explicitly confirmed. In My Singing Monsters Live, December 2023, Matt specifically said less than 3, in that exact tone. In My Singing Monsters 4.1 Update Showcase, Matt said Workshop Waves would be more alike to Mythical Island, which is most likely where that misconception came from. Because, yes, most Mythical Island updates were 2 of a kind, but there was actually one instance of only 1 monster added, that being Bleatnik, 2 if you don't count Rare Kajube in the same update as Crunchy. So having at least 1 wave with only 1 monster is still fitting to the mythical similarity. Now, I'm not saying I will be disappointed if the last wave has the Poison quad and the Quint. I just think my idea is the better thing to do, because I don't want the Poison quad to be overshadowed, especially since it's not the Shadow boss. Okay, let's actually talk about how I think the Quint will be approached. So as it's well known, the ethereal elements are incredibly unstable. So a singular monster containing all 5 of the ethereal elements would push Zeroid to its very limits. Side note, when I was writing this video, it kept trying to change the pronoun of Zeroid from its to her. No Google Docs. Zeroid is not a woman. Zeroid is not a man. Zeroid is a colossal. Sorry. Anyways, most people think the Quint will be this massive, horrific creature that makes a monumental impact on the song. I agree with all of that, except for the part about the impact with the song, because I have a different idea for the Quint. It looks to me like it's an assortment of blobs, which gave me an idea. In order to talk about my idea, let's create a hypothetical scenario. The date is August 21st, 2024. The final Ethereal quad is here. At this point, the synthesizer has evolved to a vile state, and it looks like the thing inside will hatch at any moment. Fast forward to, let's say, October. The synthesizer gets one final upgrade. This time, it has a gaping hole at the top. At the speed of light, the creature escapes to the sky. Zero-E is alerted, but it does not take action. It knew this day would come. The creature is pulsing and phasing in and out of reality. As time goes on, it begins to calm down. Could it be? It is. It's the Ethereal Quint. However, this is far from your ordinary monster. From an outside perspective, it looks no longer than your average castle. Larger than your average castle. But if a monster were to come in contact with it, they would be sucked into the micro pocket dimension, or MPD for short. That is my idea for the Ethereal Quint. No contribution to the Ethereal Workshop song in exchange for a new home for the Ethereals. MPD will be split into 6 areas. Think of it as the natural islands plus Gold Island, but with the ethereal elements. That's something that people have always wondered about too. The idea that we could be getting individual islands for each ethereal element. Plasma Island, Shadow Island, Mech Island, Crystal Island, and Poison Island. And of course we can't forget the ethereal Gold Island equivalent, with every ethereal monster coming together. And maybe even Mokulas can join in, I don't know. Bah. I have a few ideas for what the Ethereal Gold Island could be named, and here they are on the board. Now, in the current state of the synthesizer, only 4 large blobs are visible, but considering we're getting a new upgrade every wave, I can only assume that will change. On top of that, I think the spiky blob will be where the Ethereal Gold Island resides, because it seems to be the one that sticks out the most. You can even see it all the way back in the first stage of the synthesizer. So now, let's think about this from a music's perspective. In terms of genre, Ethereal Workshop seems to be going in many directions. So my thought is that the quads on the workshop will reflect on what genre of music the individual islands will be. Let's brainstorm with the quads we currently have. First is Whale. Big thanks to @LukeDarolet9321 on YouTube for this comment, because otherwise I would have a very hard time describing the vibe I get from Whale. This comment reads, early 2000s boy band when the beat drop be like this. So this might sound odd, but I think the Plasma Island will be very boy band, or more simply pop inspired. Next is Vention. Vention is a living workshop. Mech Island will probably sound more like a workshop than the actual Ethereal Workshop. Lastly, Pentumbra. This is an easy one. Shadow Island will be heavily inspired by The Nightmare Before Christmas. Crystal and Poison Island remain to be seen. Now, this outcome of the true Quint not actually being a monster in the song of the workshop might leave some people disappointed, so I have an idea for a compromise. And before I say anything, no, absolutely not. The Wubbox will not be the compromise. The Quint could come in the same wave as the Poison Quad for all I care. If the Wubbox is the final destination for Ethereal Workshop, I will be the most disappointed I've ever been. Thankfully, seeing how much creativity has gone into this island, I trust them not to end it in a cheap way. Anyways, the actual compromise I've come up with is an artificial monster created by the Ethereal Celestials. It was hinted at in the 4.1 update showcase that Galvana once inhabited the workshop in the past, so having other Celestials come into the island to create something special is not all too far-fetched. So I think to make up for the true Quint's unnatural state, the Celestials Plixie, Ludwig, Vamp, Syncopite, and Skeletor will work together to create the artificial Ethereal Quint, or AEQ for short. What will this monster contribute to the song? I will leave that up to fate. So that is the Ethereal Micro Pocket Dimension theory. This was very fun to write, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Thank you for the support on my last theory, and I hope this one performs better, because I think this is a much better video than that one. After this video comes out, I will take a break on my Singing Monsters videos to focus on other things, until my final love letter to the one and only island is ready. Bah. I want to end this video off with a thank you. Thank you, Big Blue Bubble, for creating something truly special. Not just Ethereal Workshop. Okay, kinda mostly Ethereal Workshop, but everything about this game brings me so much genuine joy. Thank you to not only the monster handlers, but the handler helpers too for inspiring creativity all the time. I'm gonna be totally honest, the past few days have been rough. School is making my mental health plummet as I sing. My singing monsters, among a few other things, have made these days much more bearable. Anyways, I'm really tired. I'm gonna sleep. Thanks for watching. See you soon, kid.